Yeah, welcome to complex analysis module part 14. In part 13, we have started what is a residue and how to find a residue. So I told you that if we expand any function f z about any point z equal to z naught in Lorentz series expansion, then the Lorentz series expansion of f z can be written as sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z naught to the power n plus sigma n equal to 1 to infinity bn over z minus z naught to the power n. This part is called analytic part and this part is called principal part. Then I told you the residue of any function fz at z equal to z naught is nothing else. It is actually coefficient of 1 over z minus z naught in Lorentz series expansion of fz about z equal to z naught. I told you in the case of removable singularity, there is a no principal part, so b1 is 0. b1 is their coefficient of 1 upon z minus z naught. In the case of essential singular point, there is a only way that you expand and collect the coefficient of 1 over z minus z naught. That will give you the value of b1, that is the residue of fz at z equal to z naught. Today we will see how to find the residue of any function fz for singularity simple pole. Pole we have two categories, simple pole and mth order pole. For the simple pole we have two methods. So let's see method 1. Let z equal to z naught is a simple pole of fz. Then we know that this is simple pole means there is a finite term in the principal part and its simple means degree of that term will be only 1. So fz can be written as sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a and z minus z naught to the power n. This is your analytic part plus b1 upon z minus z naught because it has only simple pole. Now, if we multiply z minus z naught both the side, it will be b1 plus sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a and z minus z naught to the power n plus 1 equal to z minus z naught. If they take the limit z tending to z naught, because at z equal to z naught, this function is not defined. So take a limiting case z tending to z naught, then this term is 0 because it is a numerator. So as z tending to z naught, it will tend to 0. It will give you limit z tending to z naught, z minus z naught fz. It cannot be, you cannot say this is value, this value is 0. Actually, may be possible that fz has a factor of 1 upon z minus z naught. So it can be cancelled out. Therefore, you cannot claim that this limit is 0. But in this case, you can claim because an is a function of an, not the function of z. So this will tend to 0. But for this term, you cannot make any comment due to the function of z. So the formula for simple pole residue is limit z tending to z naught, z minus z naught into fz. This is the formula for simple pole. We have some another formula also. Let's see the second way. Suppose your fz can be written as phi z over psi z, and I told you that z equal to z naught is a simple pole. So what is the definition of simple pole? We all know very well that this is a singular point. It means the function is not defined at this point. Therefore, psi z naught equal to 0 because at this point function is not defined. Okay. But its a derivative is not equal to 0 because this is a simple pole. So first derivative must not be equal to 0. But what about phi z naught? It is not equal to 0 anywhere because this is simple pole, not 0. Simple zeros. Then if simple zeros, then phi z naught is 0. And if we apply the formula limit z tending to z naught, z minus z naught into fz. I told you this is the formula. Now you put the value with the function in the form of phi z upon psi z. So it can be written as phi z over psi z. As you apply the limit, it will be 0 by 0 case because psi z naught is 0 and z naught minus z naught. So it's a 0 by 0 case. In the case of 0 by 0, you can apply the Leibniz rule of differentiation. So differentiate with respect to z in numerator and denominator. So z minus z not common, derivative of phi z is phi dash z plus phi z, derivative of z minus z naught is 1 over derivative of psi dash z. Now if you apply the limit z tending to z naught, this term is 0, phi z naught upon psi dash z naught. So this is the second formula if fz can be written as in the form of phi z upon psi z. So I told you two formulas here. In the case of simple pole, you can apply any formula, limit z tending to z naught, z minus z naught into fz, or if fz can be written as phi z upon psi z, then this is equal to phi z naught, then b1 is equal to phi z naught over psi dash z naught. If fz is equal to phi z over psi z and z equal to z naught is a singular simple pole, then this is the formula for residue. This one only. Pole of mth order. Suppose z equal to z naught is the pole of mth order. It means we have finite number of terms and the maximum degree of at this point is m. So fz equal to sigma n equal to 0, a n z minus z naught plus b1 upon z minus z naught plus b2 upon z minus z naught whole square plus bm upon z minus z naught to the power m. Now if you multiply z minus z naught to the power m both the sides and differentiate m minus 1 times, then all the terms tends to 0 at z tending to z naught except this term. So this is the formula. I'm not going into proof. You can see in any book it is given b1 equal to 1 upon m minus 1 factorial limit z tending to z naught, m minus 1th derivative with respect to z of z minus z naught to the power m into fz. You can remember this formula. This is a very important formula for mth order pole. Now, our next topic is how to find a residue at z equal to infinity. This is the most important for GATE exams. So, you are interested to find a residue of z at z equal to infinity. And I told you there is a no way. And this is equal to nothing else 1 upon 2 pi I integration fz dz. I told you if you are interested in the residue at z equal to infinity. But I told you at infinity you cannot find. If it is asked in the question to find the residue at z equal to infinity, then only you discuss. Otherwise, we exclude the infinity point from our given domain. If it is given to find at z equal to infinity, then only you proceed like this method. So what we do, we know we can substitute z equal to 1 upon w. So if z tending to infinity, then w tending to 0, then our aim will be to find residue at w equal to 0. But what about dz? dz is equal to minus 1 upon w square dw. If you differentiate both the sides, now you substitute these values, you can see that b1 is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I c star. I will tell you what is c star. 1 upon w minus 1 upon w square dw. C star is opposite direction to C because you are using here inverse mapping, inverse transformation. So the mapping direction will be changed. So the direction of the curve will be changed actually. Now b1 equal to minus, you can take outside 2 pi I c star 1 upon w square f of 1 upon w gw. Okay. Call it as a new function zw. Call it as a new function d. C star is having clockwise direction. It has no effect on the residue. If C is anti-clockwise, then here C is anti-clockwise. So C star is clockwise, but it has no effect on the residue. Okay. So now it is equal to b1 equal to minus 1 upon 2 pi I zw dw. And we know that this is in w term now, so it is equal to, it is b1 is equal to minus, call it as a new word b1 star. This is a b1 star. What is b1 actually? b1 is a residue of fz at z equal to infinity. What is b1 here? b1 star is, it is a residue of gw at which point w equal to 0. So this is the relation. But provided what is the relation in f and g? We know that G of W is equal to 1 upon W square into F of 1 upon W. So if Fz is given, we will find first the GW, then we will find the residue at W equal to 0. It will give you the residue of Fz at Z equal to infinity. This is a very, very, very important topic here. I will see some problems related to this also. So this is the theory of residue. Now let's see some examples based on the residue. So compute the residue. The first question is Fz equal to Z upon Z plus 1, Z minus 2. So you can see that if we break it partial fraction, suppose you break it partial fraction, it can be written as A upon Z plus 1 plus B upon Z minus 2. So both are principal part because both have degree negative if take in the numerator. So principal part, finite number of terms, so all are poles here. So minus 1 and 2 are poles. But what is the order of pole? It are simple pole actually because degree is 1. So minus 1 and 2 are simple pole. How you claim it? Because there is only finite number of terms at minus 1 and at 2. Because if you take in the numerator, the degree is going to be negative and there is a maximum degree is 1 here. So at minus 1 and 2, we have to find residue. We will get 2 residue here. Remember, we will get here 2 residue. Let's how to calculate these 2 residue. The residue of Fz at Z equal to minus 1, at Z equal to minus 1. So it is first residue. Call it as first residue. B1. First residue, I'm using this notation. B11, first residue at first singular point. So it is equal to limit Z tending to minus 1, Z minus plus 1 Fz. I told you the formula. You know the formula, that is actually Z minus Z naught into Fz. Here Z naught I am taking in the first case minus 1. So it will be equal to, these are some problems related to this and I will solve one by one. Z tending to minus 1, Z plus 1. What is your Fz? Z over Z plus 1, Z minus 2. That I told you, it can be cancelled out. That's why you cannot make this limit tending to 0 because Fz can cancel out this factor. So at Z tending to minus 1, it is going to be 1 by 3. So the residue at first singular point, this is first singular point, is 1 by 3. What is residue at second singular point? This is limit Z tending to 2 because you are going to find residue at 2 Z minus 2 Fz. So it will be equal to limit Z tending to 2 Z minus 2 Z upon Z plus 1 Z minus 2. This factor is cancelled out as you apply 2 by 3. So you have 2 residue. This is the residue of Fz at Z equal to 2. So you are getting 2 residue here because 2 similar points are there. Okay, so 2 similar points are there. That's why you are getting here 2 residues. You can see this is the solution. Now I'm going to solve the second problem. Fz equal to Z square over Z square minus 2Z plus 2. First, we will try to make perfect square. This can be written as Z minus 1 whole square plus 1. So for breaking in the linear factor, we will try here. We can write it as minus I square. Okay. I minus I square is equal to 1 only. So Z square upon Z minus plus I, Z minus I. Okay. So can you tell me what are the singular points? If you break partial fraction, you can first divide. If you want, you can divide. You will get 1 plus something A upon Z minus first point, Z1 call it as, plus B upon Z minus Z2. And Z1, Z2 are these points only, where the function is not defined. So what are the singular points? Singular points are 1 minus I and 1 plus I. If you put equal to 0, you will get the singular points. If you equate equal to 0, you will get the singular point. And degree of the singular point is 1. So these are actually simple poles. These are the simple poles. So I think you can find same method I have discussed in the previous example. I'm not going to solve it again. You can solve with the help of this solution I am giving you. Third problem is fz equal to 1 plus z square over z minus 1 whole square z plus 2. So here you can see z equal to minus 2 is a simple pole because degree is 1 only, and z equal to 1 is pole of order 2 because you have degree 2 here. Now first I am going to find the residue. First residue I am going to find of f z at z equal to minus 2. So it is a simple pole, limit z tending to minus 2, z minus minus plus 2 f z. So it is equal to limit z tending to minus 2, z plus 2, 1 plus z square over z minus 1 whole square z plus 2. Z plus 2 is cancelled out. Put z equal to minus 2. You will get this is equal to 1 by 3. 1 by 3. Now you are going to find the residue at z equal to 1 where you have a pole of order 2. So I told you the formula for mth order pole. I told you the formula for mth order. If you are going to find the residue for mth order pole, the formula was for mth order pole 1 upon m minus 1 factorial limit z tending to z naught m minus 1th derivative of z minus z naught to the power m into fz. Here m equal to 2 because it's a second order pole, so the formula will conclude as 1 upon factorial 1 limit z tending to z naught d by dz of z minus z naught into fz. Okay, because m is 2 here, so you will get here 2 square. Now put the value of point. The point is z equal to 1 because you are finding the residue at 1 only. This is equal to a residue of a of z at z equal to 1 because you have pole of order 2. So we'll use this formula. So it is equal to d by dz z minus 1 whole square into f z. Now if you put the value of z minus 1 whole square, is equal to limit z tending to 1 d by dz of z minus 1 whole square, and it is 1 plus z square over z minus 1 whole square z plus 2. So this factor is cancelled out. Now you differentiate using numerator and denominator, and then you apply the limit. You will get this is equal to 2 by 3. Similarly, you can solve this problem fz 1 upon z cube z square plus 1 at z cube. You are getting pole of order 3. Pole of order 3 at z equal to 0. And what about z square plus 1? You can break it in linear factor and you will get simple pole at I and minus I, and you can find the residue at z equal to I, then at z equal to minus I, and then z equal to 0. You have to use pole of order 3. Okay. Now, this is a very important question. fz equal to find the residue of fz equal to cot z. Cot z. Cot z can be written as cos z upon sin z. So this is actually in the form of phi z upon psi z. So what are the singular points? Singular points is the collection of all points where fz is not defined. So singular points where fz is not defined. So sin z equal to 0. So you know z equal to n pi. Z equal to n pi. Or n equal to 0 plus minus 1 plus minus 2 and so on. Now z equal to n pi are simple pole or simple zero. You know very well z equal to n pi are simple poles. How you can claim that? Because I solved one problem in the zeros. Sin z has simple zeros at z equal to n pi. Therefore, it's a reciprocal function 1 upon sin z. Forget about cos z for some time. Will have simple poles at z equal to n pi. For this more clarity, see zeros lecture once again. If z equal to n pi is a simple zeros for sin z, then 1 upon sin z will have simple poles. Here you have function like 1 upon sin z actually. So these are the simple poles. Okay. And you can write fz as in the form of phi z over psi z. If you compare with it, cos z upon sin z, phi z is equal to cosine z and psi z equal to sine z. And these properties are satisfied. Sine and phi 0, but since the derivative cos z is not 0 at n phi. So you can see that simple pole conditions are also satisfying here. So B1 equal to, I told you, the residue of fz at z equal to z naught is equal to phi z naught upon psi dash z naught. In the denominator you have derivative, but in numerator you have no derivative. So can you tell me what is psi dash z? Psi dash z is actually cosine z. Okay. Now your B1 will be cos z naught upon cos z naught, because phi z naught will be actually cos z naught and phi dash z naught will be cos z naught. So it's a cancelled out one. And z naught is this point. Z naught is actually this point. So at any and z naught, the value of S2 will be 1 only. Similar question is sec z. 1 upon cos z. Singular points are 2n plus minus 1 pi by 2. And you know that the simple definition, if cos z has simple zeros at this point, then 1 upon cos z will have simple poles. You can apply the formula for simple poles here. Next, find the residue of fz equal to z sine 1 by z. Can you tell me what is the singular point? Singular point is z equal to 0, because at z equal to 0 function is not defined. So for in this case, you know that this singularity I don't know. What is type of singularity? What is type of singularity? So I told you for the type of singularity, you just expand it. Z sine expansion is 1 by z minus 1 by factorial 3 1 upon z cube plus 1 upon factorial 5 1 upon z to the power 5 and so on. If you multiply it is 1 minus 1 upon factorial 3 1 upon z square plus 1 upon factorial 5 1 upon z to the power 4. You can see that there are infinitely many terms in the principal part of the expansion about z equal to 0. So z equal to 0 is essential singular point. Classification of singular point is very important here. And in the case of essential singular point, I told you the only way to find out the residue is just expand and collect the coefficient of 1 upon z minus z naught. Z naught is 0. Z 1 upon z in Lorentz series expansion of fz. So can you tell me what is the coefficient of 1 upon z here? There is a no coefficient, therefore residue is 0 here. Therefore residue is 0 here. Similarly, we have another question. Z cosine 1 by z. Again, singular point is z equal to 0. Just expand it. You will get 1 minus 1 upon factorial 2 1 upon z square plus 1 upon factorial 4 1 upon z to the power 4 and so on. If you multiply inside, you will get 1 minus 1 by 2z plus 1 upon 24 1 upon z cube and so on. You have principal part. Your principal part has infinitely many terms. So z equal to 0 is essential singular point. In this case, if you are interested for the residue, I told in the previous lecture, only way is collect the coefficient of 1 upon z minus z naught. Here z naught is actually 0 in expansion of Lorentz series expansion of fz. So here 1 upon z coefficient is minus 1 by 2. Therefore residue is minus 1 by 2. Similarly, you can try for e to the power z minus 1 upon z. Now, the very important, how to find the residue at z equal to infinity. Find the residue at z equal to infinity. I have given all the question together in some 4-5 slides before. You can see all the question together. So find the residue of e of z, z to the power 4 plus z square over z cube at z equal to infinity. So I told you the residue of e of z, very smart trick. I told you z equal to infinity is equal to minus residue of zw at w equal to 0. So can you tell me what is gw? Zw is equal to 1 upon w square f of 1 upon w. So can you tell me what is f of 1 upon w? If you know this is f z, then f of 1 w will be 1 upon w to the power 4 plus 1 upon w square upon 1 upon w cube. If you simplify it, you will get this is equal to 1 upon w cube plus 1 upon w. Now, your residue of, so B1 is equal to residue minus residue of GW at W equal to 0. So equal to minus, it is nothing else, a coefficient of 1 upon W minus 0, because you are finding residue at W equal to 0 and at about W equal to 0. So you have to find coefficient of 1 upon, if you are finding W equal to W naught, then 1 upon coefficient of 1 upon W minus W naught. Okay. In Lorentz series expansion of GW, this is actually expansion of GW because only there are finite terms. So what is the coefficient of 1 upon W? You have 1 minus, you have to take out outside. So it will be minus 1. So it will be minus 1. So residue of Z, and this residue will be equal to residue at Z equal to infinity. Residue at Z equal to infinity. Similarly, you can try for this problem also. This is find the residue. Find the residue at W at Z equal to 0 here, not Z equal to infinity. Okay, Z equal to 0, you have to find the residue. Okay, next question is find the residue of this at Z equal to infinity. So you can try find GW 1 upon W square F of 1 upon W, then collect the coefficient of 1 upon W and give the minus sign. That will be the residue. That will be the residue. You can try this problem. The next problem is find the residue of Fz equal to, this is some little bit difficult problem, Z to the power n minus 1. So Fz has singular points, you know, where the denominator or function is not defined. So Z minus n equal to 0. So Z equal to 1 to the power 1 by n. You know that this can be written as 1 can be written as cos 0 plus I sin 0 to the power 1 by n. Then its general value can be written as cos 2k pi plus I sin 2k pi plus theta. You know in class 10 plus 2, 2k pi plus theta, but theta is 0 here. Take De Moivre's theorem. So 2k pi by n plus I sin 2k pi by n. And you know Euler's theorem, e to the power I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. So it is e to the power 2k pi I by n. Okay, where n k equal to 0, 1, 2 up to n minus 1, just before 2, and this will give the n roots of 1. Now these all are singular points, but what is the nature of these singular points? Means which type? Removable, simple pole, pole of mth order are essential. So let's check. So I told you, if these are singular simple pole, then it's a denominator, it's a reciprocal Z to the power n minus 1 have simple zeros. So let's check. Suppose this is your Z square upon GZ. So GZ is actually Z to the power n minus 1. And you know that these points are simple zeros here, because at these points only this is equal to 0. Zeros definition is, it's a zeros are actually. We cannot claim here simple zeros now. Zeros are there because at these points only this GZ is 0. Zeros is the collection of the point where the function is 0. So now what about it's a derivative? It's a derivative is nz to the power n minus 1, and its a derivative is not going to be 0 at these points because exponential function is never 0. It means you have simple zeros. So GZ has simple zeros, then its reciprocal will obviously have simple poles. So in this case, these points are simple poles. So now in the case of simple pole, we just write function in the form of phi z upon psi z. So that is z square upon z to the power n minus 1. So what is your phi z? Phi z is z square. What is your psi z? Psi z is z to the power n minus 1. In this case, a residue of fz at z equal to z naught. In the simple pole case, it is equal to phi z naught upon psi dash z naught. So it is nothing else. Phi z naught is z naught square. Psi dash is the derivative nz to the power n minus 1. So n z naught to the power n minus 1. Okay, because you are checking at z naught. Multiply z naught in the numerator and denominator. So it is n z naught to the power n. At as z naught is the solution of this equation. So z to the power n minus 1 equal to 0. So z naught to the power n will be equal to 1 only. You can apply the value of this, or you can apply the value of this. You will get it is equal to actually b1 equal to n into it is z naught cube upon n into z naught to the power n, and z naught is the root of the equation, so it will satisfy the equation. It will give you the value 1, so 1 upon n. Z naught is e to the 2k pi I by n to the power 3. So this will give you the residue. This is the residue. So this is the ending of this lecture. In the next lecture, we will see what is the Cauchy residue theorem. Okay, thank you.